Today, we're excited to dig down and focus in one particular area, human capital. Specifically, we want to talk about how we have found that by better engaging the workforces in the companies in which we invest, and also by optimizing diversity, equity, and inclusion in the companies where we invest, we're able to improve how those companies perform and improve the returns that you, our partners, can look forward to. First, we're going to have a conversation with two incredibly hopeful leaders, Pete Stavros and Andy Stern.
The SEAC is a 6-member council. Each of us has a particular area of focus. There are people that are working on privacy or corporate governance, accountability, environmental advocacy. I obviously am interested, in the worker and the sustainability part, but really, workers have been overlooked, and it's really, an honor to be here to sort of make sure, that KKR, which has been a leader already, continues to expand its work around workers and worker ownership.
70% of employees are not engaged on the job. It divides up roughly 55% are unengaged, kind of uninspired, whatever, don't love my job, but I'm stuck. And then there's another 15% that are actively disengaged. So this is the proverbial, wrench in the machinery, trying to sabotage their own company. And stock ownership, when it's surrounded by other initiatives around engagement and making people feel cared for, valued, respected, trusted, that can have a real impact on engagement. That's been our experience.
After Pete and Andy's conversation, we'll have a roundtable with 3 colleagues.
We think about diversity as just the experience of difference. When you have more than 2 people in a room, you'll have some element of diversity. For us, it's important that we have broad representation, particularly as we think about the investors we serve, the communities our people are living in, and also just the strategic partnerships that we have and how we face off to our clients. There's a sense of access that is universal for all, irrespective of how you may have had a lived experience in the organization. And then finally, inclusion is what I call the most important third leg of that stool. And that's really around belonging and trust, making sure that you can come into the workplace and be who you are, as well as have value.
There's not a one-size-fits-all solution across the breadth of companies that we invest in, and they all have different challenges and are in different places across their sort of maturity journey on the topic. And then, from a bottoms-up perspective, where we're focused on, from particularly a KKR Capstone perspective, is to build resources and toolkits that our companies can use, no matter where they are in terms of their progress.
One of our theories within our Global Impact Fund is that one of the most powerful ways that we can create diverse workforces in our companies and in the economy more broadly is by changing how we describe the qualifications for the roles that we're trying to fill. So I think traditionally, qualifications were, what are your test scores? Where did you go to school? Who do you know? And when you have those as your basis for hiring, what you end up with is a lot of new hires that look a lot like the hires that are already in the building, right? You perpetuate the status quo.
Where we've seen the CEOs of our companies really embrace opportunities to drive diversity, to create a more inclusive environment.
One of the things that we've been trying to lean into at KKR is moving from just representation and other more baseline considerations around DEI and talking about belonging, talking about trust, talking about inclusion. And we're leaning into our employee resource groups who are now helping to spread the word around what we're trying to do and being a forcing mechanism for people from all types of communities to come together alongside their allies.